Hi, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk to you about bibliographies. Bibliographies rule citations, right? They're the things at the end of our papers, the end of our books, noted down sometimes within the footnotes. But ultimately, this is where people can go to find out what research we use to support our writing and check it for themselves. Our writing ultimately is, in some cases, a primary source if it's discussing our experiences and our information, but it is a secondary source if we're referencing the work of others. And there's nothing wrong with referencing the work of others. It helps to substantiate the position that we're trying to present. Academically, there's two types of bibliographies that I've been required to submit. A traditional bibliography or references at the end of every single paper I've ever submitted throughout my undergraduate, graduate, and now postgraduate degree programs. The other is an annotated bibliography, and this is sometimes required for the professors to grasp an understanding of who you're selecting as your references and evaluating whether or not you have critically analyzed those references prior to determining whether or not to include them in your overall thesis or paper. So let's head on over to my desktop, and I'm actually going to show you some references and annotated bibliographies from coursework that I've submitted. Okay, so here you can see a traditional reference list. This is what's been turned in at the end of a paper. In this case, it was a paper that I wrote for human resources examining equal employment opportunity and labor union management. I guess you could say different components of those and what's affecting those. And so I selected this because it has a lot of the examples that we talked about in the prior video. Here's an example by Shun of an APA reference for an article that was published in the Journal of Labor Research. So you already know, here's the author, last name, first initial, the year of publication, the title of the article, and then in italicized text, the name of the article and the volume number. Here's the issue number, and then the pages that the article covered, and then the link to the DOI so that anybody can go in and check that. Here's an example of a case study. So this was formatted using the Blue Book. In this case, it was the City of Charlotte versus firefighters. It is in the book 426. It was heard by the U.S. Supreme Court. The first page of it starts on page 283, and it was heard by the courts in 1976. Here's how to do a book. I attend a Christian college, so I'm attending Liberty University, and a lot of our assignments are required to have scriptural support for our positions, and so I like to use the English Standard Version for my academic papers just to keep them kind of consistent and keep the translation easy to understand. And then we're back into another article. And so this is a typical reference or bibliography that you'll see academically throughout your various studies. The other is an annotated bibliography. An annotated bibliography is like the traditional referenced bibliography in that you have your citation like normal. The difference is that you are providing anywhere from 100 to 250 words describing what the article is about, why you think it's relevant, and whether or not there's any issues with that particular research article as it pertains to the overall theme of the paper that you're writing. I've only had to do maybe 7 or 8 annotated bibliographies opposed to doing a reference or bibliography for every paper that I've submitted thus far at Liberty University. However, having this is pretty helpful when you're actually writing your paper and you're trying to remember, okay, who was this? What was this paper about? Why did I want to include it? The Zettel-Keston system actually makes this so much easier to do. Because I have a bibliography card that includes the name, and I'm going to go ahead and pull mine up here. You'll notice that you are actually in my personal Zettel-Keston now, instead of the one that I had used as the demo in the Zettel-Keston playlist. But this makes doing the actual annotated bibliography so much easier. I have my in-text citation, I have the complete reference. So if I had to do an annotated bibliography right now, I would just go through my bib cards, select the 10 to 20 research articles that I want to incorporate in that particular paper, and then I would expand upon this description to include the overview and all of my different key takeaways that I used to further my understanding of this research article. Everything is there. It's there, it's in disparate pieces, but I can very quickly and easily bring it together and select those pieces that are the most relevant to the overall theme of the paper that I'm writing. Now, I say that with a word of caution. A lot of times the professors will specifically state in their instructions that a reference used for one class may not be used for additional classes. This is how I ended up with over 800 different research articles in my collection, because I had to keep finding new, fresh research to support my position as I worked my way through my undergraduate, 2 master's degrees in my graduate program, and now my PhD. I have a lot of research articles because I was very careful to never use the same research article within different classes, unless the professor permitted it. And so that's all I have to say right now about references, your bibliographies, whether they're annotated or they're the standard. I hope you find this helpful as you continue to work your way through. Be sure to join us on the next video as we actually start getting into the nitty-gritty of reviewing a research article. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you soon.